And I said every dude ski has his tea, yeah. What's up, my dudes? MX Bikes Beta 15. So first of all, I'm going to come in here and talk about all the little new changes that I've felt to the actual feeling of the bike, to the actual physics of the bike. Then we'll go in there and talk about each individual actual new feature with the patch notes itself. So I'll go in there and read all the patch notes. But first, let's talk about the actual changes to the feeling of the bike, because they certainly have done a few things here that does make the bike feel a little bit different, and this is probably, the thing that most people are interested in when it comes to a new update or a new beta or whatever. So from what I can tell so far, basically the main thing that I can feel is they've done something within either the fixing something to the physics or a certain aspect of the physics or settings or something. I don't know exactly what they did, but the bike itself feels a little bit more plush. The suspension feels a little bit more plush. It doesn't, a lot of people have complained about MX bikes having a very bouncy feeling to the suspension, a very just kind of, rigid, bouncy, that kind of MX bikes feeling, if you will, to the physics. Seems like they've tried to alleviate that a little bit. It doesn't feel so bouncy when you're going around a corner or when you're landing on a flat surface. You're going to notice a little bit of a difference if you're used to the, beta 14 of this game. You're going to be able to over jump some stuff a little farther than you could before. You're going to be able to flat land a little more, and it's not just going to instantly, whip the front end out of your hands. It just doesn't seem like it does that as much. I don't know if that's a softer suspension type thing that's causing that, or more more play in the suspension. I'm not really sure exactly how they achieved this different feeling per se, because I don't literally design motocross simulators. I'm just kind of giving you the the Spency boy, hey, this is what it used to feel like and this is what it kind of feels like now, right? So I can't really put my finger on what is actually different with the bike. I mean, I've had some people tell me that, the bike feels more planted to the ground. It feels more like a little bit heavier, more on the ground. And maybe that's what's causing it to feel like, not as bouncy and things like that. I'm not really sure. The fact of the matter is, the point of this, what I'm saying here is, the bike definitely has changed some, but you got to go in there and try it out for yourself to really see the differences. And on top of all that, every time MX Bikes comes out with these new betas, technically the community-made OEM bikes that everybody rides on in the game is not technically supposed to work directly with a new beta of the game. I know that sounds super weird, but that's how MX Bikes has always been. And if you know the game, you know how that works. If you don't know the game, it's really confusing. But basically, the developer only makes those stock bikes in the game, right? Which are the standard orange-looking, KTM vibe-looking bikes in the game. And then you have community members that will come in here and make these OEM, 2020 OEM bike packs and things like that, which have different, power, different. It's not just a bike skin, it's a whole different bike in the game. So what happens is you kind of get this disconnect between the developer coming out with a new beta and then the community members making the OEM bikes that everybody's riding, and then you kind of get a little bit of a conflicting situation there where the OEM bikes might not technically work like they're supposed to in a new beta. Personally, I haven't really been able to tell that much of a difference. I've rode on the stock bikes in the new beta. I've rode on the, the older OEM bikes, OEM bike pack stuff in the new beta that we would have been riding on in beta 14. I can't tell that much of a difference, so maybe you guys can. I don't really know, but I just wanted to preface this video by explaining that with it. So let's get to the actual patch notes here, okay? So this beta came out 10/26/2020, like 2 or 3 days ago, right? changelog, okay? So there's a fix to the fork offset garage setting, okay? So maybe that was something that was causing something different. I'm not really sure. When they're in here developing a simulator, because this game is still in beta, I know some of you MX Bikes fanboys like to act like this game is like totally complete and shit, but the fact of the matter is the physics are still in beta. So they're still changing things, changing bugs, changing settings, changing all kinds of things in the game. Hence why I didn't get into this game hardcore, 2 and 3 years ago. That's why I didn't do it, man, because they're still fixing a lot of these bugs and a lot of these things that I've been saying, negative things I've been saying about MX Bikes over all these years. But either way, so changelog, the first fix is the fork offset garage setting. So I guess they had an issue with that. And they fixed the rider dab during slides. Okay. Then we got a fix to spectator join crash. A fix to live timing UDP output. A fix to straight rhythm in multiplayer. So I guess they were having some issues. I think I remember them having issues. Yeah, it was like really hard to actually race on a straight rhythm track in multiplayer in the game. So that's kind of cool how they fixed that. It said live timing UDP output. I guess that's like, I don't really even know what that is, but maybe that's like timing in the race, like being a little more accurate. I don't really know. So the next fix is pit board during the last lap. So now you get a like solid pit board the last lap or something, and they fixed that a little bit. I'm not really sure. So another fix to the live screens and replays, another fix to the rendering performance improvements, another fix to web server browser join. Okay, so those are all good things. Obviously, any sort of performance improvements, server improvements is always good. So now let's get to the actual new settings of the game. Okay, so the first new thing is garage setting to slide the fork in the triple clamps. Okay, they're like trying to take that to like another hyper-realistic level or some shit. I don't really know. Another new thing is garage setting to adjust the linkage rod length. Okay. Another new thing is support for soft collisions. So I guess there might be a setting now where you can have like soft collisions instead of normal collisions, which is weird because I already thought this game was pretty soft collisions, especially when you compare it to MX Simulator. I mean, you can run into people like crazy in this game and nobody goes down, right? So it's kind of interesting how they add support for soft collision. I guess that means like super soft collision. You know what I mean? Like way so. If anything, I thought they would have added a more hard collision system to the game or something. Maybe they made the normal collision harder and then added a softer collision support. I don't really know, but apparently they added that. Another new thing is timed races support. Okay. Another new thing is qualify practice option as an alternative to qualify race. Okay, so you can run qualifying practice instead of having to run a race for qualifying. Interesting. That seems like a really good thing. Seems like a necessary thing. Another new thing is hole shot award. That's kind of cool. I like stuff like that. Another new thing is option to limit a server to specific bikes in addition to categories. I thought it was already like that. That's kind of bizarre. You can definitely restrict like only allowing MX1 or MX2 or, two strokes only, or what? I guess they just added even more like, categories and settings to that than what they already had. So that's kind of adding on to what they already had, I guess. Another new thing is IPv6 support. I don't know what the hell that means, but, you're a genius, Fancy boy. Another new thing is dedicated server admin commands. All right. Another new thing is remote server admin. Another new thing is open practice results export. Okay. Another new thing is option to show the 3D names in replays. Another new thing is instant replays. Another new thing is replay interface design. Another new thing is protection paint support. Another new thing is additional trick animations. Okay. Gonna do a little boner error or some shit. I don't really know. Another new thing is head tracking link to look back animations. Another new thing, last new thing is track paints support. So, all in all, the fact that this came out 4 months after the last update, I kind of feel like people would have expected a little bit more out of this. Which, of course, well, technically it's been 6 months since the last actual beta 14, like base, beta 14. It's actually been 6 months since that. And then obviously they came out with all these beta 14B, CD, E, all that kind of crap, right? So we'll probably have a beta 15B, CDE or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. They're going down this hyper realistic, thing with MX bikes with the simulated gearbox and this, that, and another. And so it's cool, that they're going to add slide the fork in the triple clamps, adjust the linkage rod links. I mean, what are they going to allow you to whip out a chainsaw and just start buzzing off parts of the bike and start going in there and, chiseling down, different aspects of the bike? Or are you going to I don't know, be able to go in there and send the motor off to Mitch Payton and he's going to get everything real nice and lightweight? I mean, I don't know. Who knows what they're going to add to this shit? But they're definitely adding some really wild stuff that I wasn't really expecting. But all in all, it doesn't seem like anything major in this update. It really doesn't. It's even when you get in there and you ride on the bike and you feel the bike, it's not drastically different. I mean, it feels different, but it certainly isn't oh my God, it's like a completely different game now or anything, I mean, in a lot of these things they've added with this, it's not super crazy things. I mean, it's really not. But, all these things are pretty good improvements and things like that. Have they still not done anything to the actual tough blocks or anything like that? Really? Really shocked at that. And they also didn't add any new tracks either. Any new default tracks. With Beta 14, they came out with that new Asin track. Plus, they revised, I'm reading down here on the Beta 14, they added the new Asin track and revised the Mantua, Washington, and Winchester MX and Nations tracks. So the fact that they did nothing with any of their tracks and didn't add any new tracks, that's a little unfortunate. I was hoping they would have added an official Redbud or an official, some other cool track like that. Kind of sad they didn't do that, but it's all good. I'll be going in there and playing some more with it here in the future and seeing some of the differences and talking to some people about it. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.